How did I get into hypnosis? I got hypnotized when I was 14 at a stage show. And after I saw that it worked, I just couldn't get enough of it, man. It was love at first sight. So I've been studying hypnosis for the last 2 decades, man. The last 20 years. Crazy thing is, once you get really good at it, what's up, Sparky? Once you get really good at hypnosis, you realize that everybody is a hypnotist. Some people just do it on purpose, but if you make somebody day, you hypnotize them. Like if you give somebody some flowers and they say, "Oh, you made my day," it's hypnosis. You did something, they processed it, they feel different. They feel different as a result of something you did. That's hypnosis. If somebody make you mad, they hypnotize you. They said something, you processed it, you feel different. That's hypnosis. Now it's levels to it, but that's the groundwork of what hypnosis is. Humans are naturally suggestible. Hypnotists are people who use that suggestibility on purpose. That's all. If I say cat without even trying, you're going to come up with your internal representation of cat. Some of y'all might see a black cat. Some of y'all might see a gray cat. Some of y'all might just see the head. Some of y'all might see the whole body. But if I say cat without even trying to even make sense out of what I'm saying, you got to create an image of a cat in your mind. But you're doing that all throughout your life. You're doing that when you talk to your friends. As they talk, and you create thoughts and sounds and images and motion pictures in your mind. And you're not really reacting to what they're saying. You're reacting to the motion pictures that you create in your mind. And as hypnotists, we choose to get really good at using our words, using silence, using our body language, facial expressions, tonality to create the right picture to get the desired response. Yep. Like I was working with a lady yesterday who was afraid of bugs. And I say, so close your eyes and imagine a bug and describe it to me. She closed her eyes and she was describing this 10-foot, big, crunchy, slimy, loud bug. Look, if anybody saw a 10-foot bug, they would be afraid. She wasn't reacting to the little bug that she could pick up with her finger. She was reacting to this image of this big, huge bug that she created in her imagination. Shrink that down, make it not crunchy, put some distance between you and it, and now the phobia is gone. It's never the problem is never the problem. It's your story around the problem that's keeping you stuck. What's going on? What's up, E? You scared of the bug in your mind. Yeah. But that's the thing. People get so caught up on the reason. Forget the reason. The reason is not happening right now. So the reason isn't the problem. It's what you're doing inside of your head is creating the phobia. It's what you're doing is creating the response. If somebody broke your heart 2 years ago and you still sitting in that, you still living in that, they might have been the original catalyst of that, but it's you that's waking up every morning and re-breaking it. They broke it 2 years ago. It's you getting in your own imagination and reliving it and adding details and just hypnotizing yourself. 1, 2, 3, wide awake, stop it. Feeling better is a decision. Sometimes it's a hard decision to make, but that don't change the fact that it's a decision. Being happy is a decision. Sometimes it's a really hard decision to make. It doesn't change the fact that it's a decision. You got to decide, what do you want? Getting rich is a decision. Being wealthy is a decision. Not being wealthy is a decision. Sometimes it's a really easy decision to make, depending on where you were born and what you were born into and what your family got going and the type of school that you grew in. Sometimes being poor is a really easy decision to make, but it don't change the fact that it's a decision. I used to be afraid of snakes from my childhood dreams, but I missed the message. So the way I interpret dreams is, like, I don't buy into if you dream about this, it mean this. If you dream about that, it mean that. I think everybody got their own set of self-conscious metaphors, and you really got to talk to that person and unpack. One person could be dreaming about snakes, and it could represent abundance. Somebody else can be dreaming about snakes, and it can be, people backstabbing them. But it depends on the life that they've lived and the narrative that they've stored in it. Two people have very similar dreams. They can have two very different meanings. I'm not gonna say it's wrong. Just in my philosophy, like those blanketed dream analysis, it's they hit or miss. Push through the thoughts, like wait, no, I'm not there. I'm here. Yeah, and you don't even gotta like push through the thought. You just gotta get so distracted. You gotta focus so. You gotta get so wrapped up in what you want that you don't got no neurology left for what you don't want. I'm so busy creating the life that I desire. I'm so focused on what I want. I ain't got no attention left for what I don't want. And it's a matter of controlling your focus. Focus is your superpower. Yep. You gotta understand. Like, things require your consciousness to exist. If you take away your consciousness, the problem ceases to exist. It's your consciousness, it's your focus, it's your attention, it's your energy that a problem is like a leech. It needs an energy source. The problem has no energy within itself. So the problem uses you to stay alive. If you take your attention, your focus, your energy off of the problem, guess what's gonna happen to the problem? Like, working on the problem is not the same thing as aligning with a solution. A lot of times people so busy working on the problem that they never align with the solution. Stop working on the problem. Why are you working on the problem? Take your hands off of the problem. What do you want? And once you figure out what you want, you got to start putting your attention on what you want. And as you focus on what you want, think about it. When you focus on what you don't want, don't you accidentally get overwhelmed? Don't you accidentally get sad? Don't you accidentally get depressed? Don't you accidentally start feeling down? It'll work at this end, it'll work at that end. If focusing on what you don't want get you down, get you overwhelmed, get you depressed, what you think focusing on what you do want gonna do? When you start focusing on what you want, you're gonna accidentally come up with some really good ideas. What is this coming from? My own thought. Yeah. So you're constantly slaying lions, but you created the lion. You're constantly overcoming the problem, but it's a problem that you created. And you got to realize that the universe is always reflecting back to you your own conception of yourself. So the world is going to use people, circumstances, and events to reflect you back to you. And anytime you're working on the people, circumstances, and the events, instead of working on the mind that's attracting the people, circumstances, and events, you hustling backwards. That would be the equivalent of you guys saying, hey, Coach Jay, is something on your face. And instead of wiping my face, I started wiping my phone. I said, hold on, y'all. I can't get it. I see it, but it won't come up. Hold on, let me wipe it harder. Let me go get some water. Let me go in the house and get a rag. Then I'll meet somebody who's trying to tell me right now, you don't understand. I tried everything. Yeah, you tried everything out there. The problem was never out there. The problem was always in here. Your bank account balance right now is a direct reflection of your thinking and feeling up to this point. The number that you see on the scale right now is a direct reflection of your thinking up to this point. The quality of the relationships that you have right here, right now, is a direct reflection of your thinking and your energy and your focus up to this point. And when you blame it on anything outside of that, you're taking the power from yourself and putting it out there. You got to reclaim your energy. Like this whole I coach bosses thing, that's what I mean when I say I coach bosses. I coach bosses. I coach leaders. Leaders go first. Leaders go first. And what that means is if you want to create a new reality, you got to go first. You can't wait on the bank account to look a certain way before you start feeling and thinking rich. You can't wait to see a certain number on the scale before you start thinking and feeling sexy. You can't wait until a certain number of people show up in your live stream and go, okay, now I'll do. Listen, when I work with athletes, I tell them all the time, you don't get a trophy and then become a champion. What happens is you become a champion. And if you just become a champion on purpose, you'll get a trophy on accident. Because champions have trophies. You don't get the money and then get rich. What happens is you get rich. And when you get rich, you'll accidentally start reading rich books. You accidentally start listening to rich podcasts. You accidentally start having rich dialogue. You accidentally start networking with other rich people. And if you stay in that thought, if you stay in those feelings, if you stay in that energy of rich, guess what? The bank account got to catch up. But if you refuse to go into the energy of rich until the bank account reflects it, you never get the money. The money is not the effect. The money is not the effect. The money is the effect, but it's not the cause. So when people talk manifesting, like, you got to realize manifesting, real manifesting. Like, when you look up the word manifest means to make obvious to the eye of the mind. Hold on, don't take my word for it. Let me show y'all something. Let me see here. Let me show y'all something. Because y'all might be thinking Coach J be making stuff up. Read that. Manifest. Clear or obvious to the eye of the mind. You see that? Look at these synonyms for manifest. Obvious, clear, plain, apparent, evident, patent. You see that? So when you say things never work out for me, that's what you're making obvious to your mind. When you say these eggs too expensive, can't nobody afford that, that's what you're making obvious to your mind. When you say this country going to hell in a handbasket, that's what you're making obvious to your mind. You're always making something obvious to your mind. You got to start getting selective with what you make obvious to your mind. That's what manifesting is. Purposely making things obvious to your mind, independent of an external outcome. Okay? Manifesting is never about creating an outcome. Manifesting is about making it obvious to your mind. But if you make it obvious to your mind, you will accidentally create said outcome. When I first started calling myself I Coach Bosses, when I first bought the domain icoachbosses.com, and I started doing this, there wasn't no bosses on the schedule. But when I started saying, hey, I coach bosses, I'm a serial entrepreneur with a successful track record, and I understand the subconscious mind at a very deep level, I can help you. I had to sit in that knowing long enough for reality to catch up. You got to understand, it's only delusion until reality catches up. It's only delusion until reality catches up. Okay? If you want to really create the life that you desire, if you want to start to live life in a limitless way, you got to allow yourself to become the type of person that see oak trees where other people see acorns. Sit with that for a moment. Like, you really want to start manifesting on purpose, because you already manifest. Look around. Love it or hate it, you created whatever you see when you look around. You created that. That's yours. And that's good news, because if you create it, you can uncreate it. If you can build it, you can tear it down. Okay? So, full ownership. If not, my mama did this to me, my daddy did this to me, my ex-wife, my ex-husband, none of that. I created this. I created this. Because I'm a creator. I'm a powerful creator. I'm a dope creator. And because I'm a dope creator, what I'm going to do is use my existing creation to get clarity about what I want my next creation to look like. When you really start learning how this manifestation thing works, you get excited when you see stuff that you don't like. Because you go, oh, here go an opportunity to get more clarity. Oh, here go an opportunity for me to get crystal clear on what I want. The life that I live today is a direct reflection of me going through a season that I didn't like. I didn't like being, I used to be in the military. I hated it. I couldn't grow my hair, couldn't wear my nose ring, couldn't wear my earrings, couldn't be myself, had to wear camouflage, couldn't live where I wanted to live, couldn't go where I wanted to go, when I wanted to go, and stay how long I wanted to. I didn't like it. But what that did is, when I finally started asking, when I finally stopped complaining and started to ask the right questions, what would I rather have? That's the question that changed everything. What would I rather have? What would I rather have? You know what? I don't really want to work. I want to play. I want to play. I want to get paid to do things that I would do for absolutely free. I want to wake up when I want to wake up. I want to go to bed when I want to go to bed. I want to get paid to talk about the mind. I want to get paid to talk about psychology and NLP and hypnosis and human behavior, and influence, and confidence. I want to get paid to talk about things that I would talk about for absolutely free. And as I started focusing on that, I accidentally started learning the things that I need to learn. I accidentally started meeting other people with similar interests. I accidentally started building this business that I now operate. But when I was focused on what I didn't want, I was accidentally getting overwhelmed. I was accidentally getting pissed off. I was accidentally running out of options. What we got here? Thanks for saying that, because I've been thinking about enlisting, but something always keeps pulling me. For sure. What do you want? What do you want? I always tell my clients, before you make a strategy, you got to figure out what you want. Don't confuse the strategy with what you want. A lot of times when I ask people, what do you want? They say stuff like, I want to go to the gym 3 times a week. I want to eat healthy. That's not what you want. That's what you think you got to do to get what you want. What do you want? That's step one. Figure out what you want. Figure out what you want. And once you figure out what you want, you got to start doing what I call calibrating. You got to start having it already. If it's riches that you want, if it's freedom that you want, if it's choice that you want, you got to start becoming aware of the choices that you already get to make. You already got freedom. You could be watching anybody in the world right now. You chose to be sitting in here right now. You already got, as you start becoming aware of the, like, I already got so much of what I'm asking for. It starts to pick up momentum. I desire to have my own village with farms and animals. Keep going. You got to keep telling that story. You got to keep telling that story. The mind needs to believe the thoughts will then change. Exactly. But the way you get to believe is through repetition and emotion. How do you make it past the chaos phase? You ride the wave. And you gotta start training your mind. You gotta understand your mind is not you. Your mind is a tool that you use. You gotta stop letting the tool run the show. You gotta stop letting the tool run the show. This is why meditation is so important. You gotta learn how to make your mind shut up. You gotta put it back in order. You gotta tell your, hey, not right now. I don't want to overthink. I don't want to be anxious. Don't stop focusing on that. Focus on this. For sure. But you got to use it in a way that activates emotion. You got to use it in a way that activates emotion. So think about it. The same imagination that you use to create anxiety is the same imagination you're going to use to build unshakable confidence. The same imagination that you use to get depressed is the same imagination you use to step into a state of bliss. You're already using the imagination. You just got to start using it on purpose. What's going on, Flower? How you doing? I needed to hear this. I know this definitely was divine energy. Absolutely. If you could think it, you could do it. Okay? But if you could feel it, you could do it on accident. Think about how your feelings become your sense of I am. When you feel sleepy, what do you say? I'm sleepy. When you feel mad, what do you say? I'm mad. When you feel excited, you say, I'm excited. What you think will happen if you start feeling like a successful entrepreneur? What you think will happen if you start feeling confident? Independent of the result. Stop connecting your internal feelings to results out there. If you want to start manifesting on purpose, you got to stop making your feeling dependent on what's going on out there. We'll be excited to have you on the Hypnosis podcast, Hypnosis for Black folks. We'd love to pull up. We'd love to pull up. If you go on my TikTok page, there's a phone number on there. Shoot me a text so we can figure out what that looks like. Then it became a vision. For sure, you got to put emotion in that vision. Emotion is the key. So can cross use feelings like anger from anger for manifest? Ask me that in another way, because I want to make sure. I think I know what you're saying, but I want to make sure I'm answering the question that you're asking me. Gratitude is powerful, but I mean, you can use any emotion to do. And that's why you got to be careful what emotions you entertain. Because any emotion, every emotion is going to have a baby. Every emotion is going to have a baby. For sure, for sure. Thank y'all for coming, man. Thank y'all for the taps. We almost up to 10K. Yo, if this y'all first time in here, hit the follow button. Get your daily heart meet. I'm Coach Jay. I coach bosses. I love hypnosis. I love neuroscience. I love psychology. I love the mind. I love how, as humans, we so lit. We got this frontal lobe that is like a problem solving machine. And most people's biggest problem is they don't know how to think. Once you learn how to think, watch what happens to the problems, man. Okay, for sure. Looking forward to it. You have to be unbothered to manifest, or can you manifest bothered? Angry. Yeah, you can manifest bothered and angry, but you're gonna manifest in alignment with the energy. So I always tell people, you're never doing anything wrong by feeling any of your emotions. You're a human. You got a full range of emotions. Feel all of them. The problem is when you done feeling a particular emotion and you don't know how to stop. And that's when we got to work on discipline in your mind. You got to call your disciples to order. Nothing is wrong with you being angry. The problem is when you're tired of being angry and you don't know how to stop being angry. You've gotten caught up in this hypnotic loop that you don't know how to escape. And that's where we got to go 1, 2, 3, wide awake, snap out of it. It was just a dream. Wake up. Wake up. What do you want? What do you want? And it gets easier with practice, but it requires clarity. The reason, like a lot of times people get stuck in the anger is because they got clarity about what they don't want, but they don't got clarity about what they would rather have. Knowing most people know what they don't want, but they don't know what they would like to have. So imagine if this was a taxi and I pull up and I pick you up and you jump in the taxi and I say, hey, where you want to go? And you say, I hate the mall. Do not take me to the mall. It's too expensive. I'm not paying no $300 for no one pair of shoes. And all those teenagers up there wearing jackets in the summertime and got ski masks. I don't know what's wrong with these kids. I don't know what's wrong with these kids. I'm not going to the mall. I hate the mall. You go to the mall, you stupid, man. I do not go to the mall. I hate going. You know where else I don't go? I don't go to church. I don't trust these pastors. They driving around those expensive cars, taking them. Man, I hate these mega churches. Okay, where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? I get it. You don't want to go to the mall. You don't want to go to church, but where do you want to go? Most people never answer that question about where do they want to go. They keep hypnotizing themselves in what they don't want. They get on the phone with their friend and talk about what they don't want. They get on TikTok and watch videos and skits about what they don't want. Then they share it to their friend. Oh, this is me right here. Who this remind you of? Like, stop it. You are calibrating to what you don't want. You're pouring energy into what you don't want. You're writing in your journal. You're writing in your diary about what you don't want. You're having all of these conversations about what you don't want. So which way do you think the scale is going to tilt? You constantly talk about what you don't want, and then you do 5 minutes of affirmations about what you do want, and you think that 5 minutes is going to overcome 20 hours of horrible, uncontrolled, reckless thinking. It's not. Think about what you desire, not about the things you don't. Exactly. Put your attention on what you want. You want to heal? What does that mean? That's vague. What does that mean? I was working with a lady not too long ago. She was talking about, she spent the first 5 minutes of her session talking about how much she hated her job. And she would have went longer, but I jumped in and I cut her off. She was my boss. So my boss got a master's degree, and she thinks she all that because she got a master's degree. She's not smart. She don't know anything. Company actually can't run without me, and they pissing me off because they don't pay me what I'm worth, and they don't give me enough vacation time. They not respectful of the fact that I'm a mother and I have things to do outside of this job. They call me all hours, and I just can't keep doing. And she did that for 5 minutes. I said, well, okay, cool. I hear you. What do you want? And she goes, I just want to be happy. You got all of this energy, all of these details, all of these stories, all of these examples about what you don't want. When we come over here with what you do want, I want to be happy. Which way do you think your subconscious mind is going to go? You think your subconscious mind is going to go with all the energy, all of the examples, all of the stories are. That's where all the momentum is. So that's the energy so even if you go to another job interview, the energy that you sitting in is they overwork me, they underpay me, they don't do this, and they don't. So even if you go to a company with a healthy culture, you don't feel like a good mix because you are wrapped up in what you don't want. You got to put that down so you can pick this up. You got to put that down so you can pick this up. All right, let's catch up on these comments. I walked in late, but I want to heal. Man, my ex did everything to annihilate me in every way because I broke up with him. That just means she's mastered her studies. Dropping gems. I'm devastated, but my work, reputation, my freedom, my job. I'm devastated. Okay. Look at the devastation and ask yourself, well, what would you rather have? Let me tell y'all the story. I used to own a cleaning company during COVID. I had a cleaning company. Before COVID, my cleaning company was printing money. Printing money. Lord, boy, it was, especially during springtime. Money just was coming in. COVID hit, and overnight, all our clients fired us. They didn't want the cleaners in their house. They didn't know what was going on. Everybody was scared. All of our clients fired us. And for about 3 months, I was pissed. This is not fair. How can they just fire us? Why is the government scaring these people? Why are they showing all this stuff on the news? I don't like it. I can't pay my cleaners. I can't afford I didn't like it. I had to practice what I preach. What do I want? What you mean what I want? Because when you focus on what you don't want, somebody asks you a question like that, it'll piss you off because it's going to force you to step into another energy. But I used some mental fortitude and I want to get back to my business driving. I got single moms that work for me. I want them to be able to put food on their table. I want to keep my house. I want to keep my children in the schools today, and I want to keep my quality of life. I want to grow my company. As I started putting my attention on what I want, a switch flipped. Wait, stop marketing the cleaning company as a luxury cleaning service. Start marketing the cleaning service as a disinfectant service. Ding, 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 ding. Just like that, we got a waiting list. Just like that, I'm hired. I'm doing hiring events, hiring people on the spots because we can't keep up with the workflow. In the midst of a pandemic, we got the only disinfectant company in the city. At a time when people can't get bleach and they can't get disinfectant wipes and they can't get no cleaning stuff, I got storage rooms full of cleaning stuff. I own a cleaning company. So just by getting from under the influence of what I didn't want and focusing on what I wanted, I didn't find a good idea found me. Does that make sense? You don't got to find a good idea. You just got to put down the bad idea so that the good idea can jump in your head. So small problems have small solutions. Stay with me. We're going somewhere. Medium problems have medium solutions. Big problems, stupid, dumb problems have big, stupid, dumb solutions. The bigger the problem, the bigger the solution. So let me talk to you. If you're at a point in your life where you got a big problem, scary problem, type of problem that keeps you up at night, that means it's a big, huge, gigantic solution with your name on it. But in order for you to align with that solution, you got to stop focusing on the problem. Okay? As long as the problem has your attention, the solution can't get in. Okay? But that's what it's about. If you focus on the problem, you're going to keep manifesting the problem. Let's look at it again. What does manifest mean? Let's look at it again. What does manifest mean? You see it? Clear or obvious to the eye of the mind. If I'm making it obvious to my mind that I'm finna go out of business, that's what I'm manifesting. If I'm making it obvious to my mind that there's not enough money going around and it's never gonna work, that's what I'm manifesting. You better start doing this on purpose. Stop letting CNN decide what's obvious to your mind. Stop letting other content creators on TikTok decide what's obvious to your mind. Stop letting your parents decide what's obvious to your mind. I want you to start treating these events and these pandemics and these recessions, I want you to start treating them like kickbacks. Okay? Just because somebody invites you to a kickback don't mean that you got to go. So the next time somebody invites you to a recession, you're like, who all going to be there? Yeah, I don't think I'm coming. Just because they having a recession don't mean that you got to have a recession. Just because they participate in a pandemic don't mean that you got to participate in a pandemic. Stop going to everything somebody invites you to. You don't got to go. Oh, you work there? They're going to stress you out over there. Look, that's your reality. Stop letting people copy paste their energy in your life. That's their life. That's their thinking. That's what they made obvious to their mind. Now, if you let them make it obvious to your mind, yeah, you're going to get ready to have a very similar result. But you got to start refusing invitations. Stop going to any and everything, man. You're not just anybody. You valuable. You God's highest form of creation. Stop living like an accident. You're not no damn accident. You had a purpose before you had a name. Like, God is not a messy creator. God is not an unorganized creator. The fact that you here means that God had a purpose for you being here. Like when you get in Genesis, God didn't say in the beginning it was black void and without form, and he created Adam. No, but before God created Adam, he had a place for Adam to exist and a job for Adam to do. Like Adam, I imagine Adam would have had a hard time trusting God if God just created him and sat him in the dark. It's like, hold on, Adam, I'm still figuring out what I'm gonna do with the rest. No, by the time he created Adam, he had a job for Adam to do. Hey, Adam, okay, glad you're here, man. Welcome to the garden. You like this? I set it up nice for you, huh? So I need you to name all of these animals. Okay, you want to call that a giraffe? You can call that a what? Okay, yeah, get these animals' names. You see all these trees and stuff? Okay, that's an apple. Yeah, name all this stuff, and I want you to take care of this for me. He created Adam's purpose, then he created Adam. Okay, so understand you got a purpose. And because you got a purpose, that means you got to quit living like an accident. Stop going to bed on accident. Stop waking up on accident. You got to get intentional. What do you want? What do you want? If you could think it, you could do it. If you don't know what you want and you want to book a clarity session with me, book your clarity session. I think we got them on sale for $111. Usually we do $250 hour. Right now through the TikTok link, we got clarity sessions on sale for $111. You got to figure out what you want. Don't confuse what you want with what you got to do to get it. I remember a while back, I was working with a guy that wanted to quit smoking. I said, what do you want? He said, Jay, I got to quit smoking. I said, that's not what I asked you. What do you want? He said, I just told you. I said, that's not what you want. If that's what you wanted, you wouldn't need my help to quit. What do you want? You don't need my help to do things you want to do. You need my help to do things you think you got to do and don't feel like doing. You don't need my help to do things you want to do. What do you want? He go, my wife said. I said, I don't care what your wife said. What do you want? My doctor said, I don't care what your doctor said. What do you want? And he sat there for about 5 minutes, and I gave him time to think. He said, Jay, I got a 3-year-old daughter, man. She's beautiful. She's gorgeous. One day my baby gonna get married. I want to be there to walk my daughter down the aisle. That's what you want. The quit smoking, the going to the gym, yada, yada, yada. That's stuff that you think you got to do to get what you want. But the first thing that we got to get your nervous system programmed for, we're going to use what you actually want to take you out of fight or flight. We're going to use what you really want. Not what you think you got to do to get what you want. We're going to use what you actually want. You don't want money. You want the freedom to come with money. You want the choices to come with money. You want the flexibility to come with money. You want the security. But if I gave you, I say, hey, I'm going to give you $10 million. You can't spend it, though. I'm going to put it in a glass box and sit it in your room. You can look at it. You can't spend it. You be like, Jay, what I'm going to do with money that I can't do? You don't want the money. You want what you can do with the money. And as we get you calibrated to what you actually want and you start existing in that energy, you'll find yourself accidentally starting to make money. Because when you learn, so when people find out I'm a hypnotist, they usually say one or two things. They either say, don't hypnotize me, or can you teach me how to hypnotize people? And both of them are asking the wrong thing. The thing that they should be asking is, can you teach me how to hypnotize myself? Can you teach me how to hypnotize me? Because if I can hypnotize me, I don't need you to behave a certain way for me to feel good. If I can hypnotize me, I don't got to hypnotize you because I know how to control me. So I know how to make me go to the gym when I say I'm going to go to the gym. I know how to make me focus and make content when I say I'm going to focus and make content. I know how to make me stick to my strategy. I don't got to hypnotize. I don't got to hypnotize you because I know how to hypnotize me. And the time when you feel the need to control people out of you, that's because you feel out of control. And you're trying to establish that control on other people because you don't feel in control of yourself. Get in control of yourself. If you're a person that feel like you're constantly running in the narcissists and you're constantly running in the users, get in control of yourself. You don't got to work on setting boundaries and cutting narcissists off. If you just get in control of yourself, the narcissists will run from you. The users will run from you. It's easy to use me when I need you to feel good. You can use me up when I need you to feel good. But when I feel good with you and feel good without you, you can't play in my face. How, what, flower? We done talked about a lot. Which part? we done talked about a lot. What part? The vision is there because you can't touch it. Yeah, so I want you to start approaching your manifestation journey as, how do I create the feelings? How do I get my nervous system behaving different? How do I get my endocrine system behaving different right here, right now? Not, I need to manifest $1 million so I can feel wealthy. How do I feel wealthy right here, right now? I went in the store this morning. I bought water, bought me a coffee. I got an iPhone. I got an iPad. I'm sitting in a temperature controlled environment. I'm so blessed. I got beautiful kids, gorgeous kids. I got 10 fingers, 10 toes. I got good ideas. I got ideas in my mind that I know for a fact are worth millions. I'm already rich, and boy, oh boy, when reality catches up, like you see how we using what we already, man. I know I got $1 billion worth of ideas right here. I know it's already here. I can taste it. I can touch it. I'm so excited, and boy, oh boy, when reality catches up. That's where I want you to start manifesting from. I want you to understand that having and not having are states of being. You think having is either I have it or I don't have it. Ooh, I dropped that in the wrong spot. But you think having is either I have it or I don't have it. That's not what I can have this bottle of water. And even in the physical having of this water, I can go inside my imagination and go, what if I spill it? What if they take it? What if I drink it all? What if it gets too hot? What if I lose it? What if I, even in the physical having of this bottle, I can go inside and tell my endocrine system and my nervous system a story of me not having. Does that make sense? But even in the not having, I can go inside and say, man, there's plenty of water out there. There's plenty of water out there. A bottle of water can't cost more than $1.75. I can get my hands on $1.75. I got that in the couch. I got that under the seat in the car. I can get that bottle of water. And when I get it, oh man, it's gonna taste so good. I can physically not have it, but inside I can get my nervous system and my endocrine system in a state of having. And if I exist in a state of having, I'm going to accidentally come up with ideas, circumstances, and opportunities that put me in that state of having. You got to get out of that state of feeling like you got to earn your way into worthiness. You got to earn it, but you earn it through your focus. You earn it through getting the energy. Like when my daughter asks me for things, my daughter will come in, she go, Daddy, I just saw this dollhouse on TV, and when I get it, I'm gonna put it right beside my other dollhouse, Daddy. And 5 of my Barbies gonna stay in the other dollhouse, and my other 7 Barbies, they gonna stay in the new one, because it's bigger, Daddy, it's huge. When she walks in and she's already in that state of having, I can't say no to her. I can't say no. She already know where she gonna put it in. My daughter got homeless Barbies in her room. I'm for the help. My baby's building subdivisions in her bedroom. My little creator I'm a creator, and my little creator is coming to me wanting to create. And I got unlimited resources. You think I'm not gonna help? You crazy. Come on, Jay, she don't need another doll. Yeah. You didn't see her eyes. You didn't hear her voice. My baby is getting this dollhouse, and not only is she getting it today. I understand y'all boycotting Target, but it's a dollhouse here to my baby. She already got it. I just got to go get it. But imagine if that same little girl come to the same dad and she go, Dad, my old dollhouse is stupid. All my Barbies can't fit in it. It's old. I've had it for 2 years. I don't like it. From there, it's very easy. I'll accidentally say no, because now you sound ungrateful. Now you in a state of not having, and when you already in a state of not having, it's no smile to wipe off your face. When that smile is on her face and she feel like she already got it, I can't say no. But when she in a state of not having already, I ain't got nothing to lose by telling you no. You already don't got it. And when I bless you from that state of not having, I'm not teaching. I'm setting you up for failure, because that's not how life works. That's not how life works. You better get in the state of having and then ask. Prayer is about mastering that state of having. That's what real prayer is. Getting and not begging and trying to convince God to let you borrow some of the infinite resource. That's not what prayer is about. Aligning to a state of already. That's literally what faith is. It's getting in a state of having before the physical evidence show up. So when my daughter walk in there, Daddy, when I get it, I'm gonna put it right beside my other dollhouse, Daddy. And my 5 Barbies gonna stay in the old dollhouse, and my other 7 Barbies, they gonna stay in the new one, because it's huge, Daddy. It has an elevator, it has a pool. Not only is she finna get a dollhouse, she finna get the van, the little Corvette. She finna get some more furniture for the dollhouse. Because she's already in the energy of having. So imagine if you start showing up to your consultations with an energy of having versus not having. Imagine if you start going on dates with an energy of having versus not having. Imagine if you start going to job interviews with an energy of having. Like when people book a consultation with me, I don't approach consultations the way a lot of people might feel. I assume that if you on my schedule for a consultation, you are there to find out when is my next available slot. I'm not there to sell myself. You sitting in my Zoom room or you sitting in my office. Apparently you so, hey, I could get you in next Thursday at 3 p.m. Initial session gonna be $500. It's an invoice in your inbox. Get that paid and do your pre-session instructions. Do you have any questions? I'm not auditioning. I'm in a state of having. I need to get in. I need to hear that. Get in that state of having. Live in that state of having. Exist in that state of having. I'm gonna start letting people up in a little bit on One Cool Digital Mom. I'm gonna start letting people come up in just a little bit. If you can think it, you can do it. If you can feel it, you'll do it on accident. Your only limit in life is your own imagination. Your only limit in life is your own imagination. You got to convince one person and one person only. That one person is you. You don't got to convince your mama. You don't got to convince your daddy. You don't got to convince your partner. You don't got to convince your sister. You don't got to convince your sister-in-law or your brother-in-law. If you just convince you, you'll accidentally convince them. Stop wasting energy trying to convince other people, because the fact of the matter is, it's a full-time job to convince you. Convincing you is a full-time job. Keeping you motivated, keeping you inspired, keeping your energy right. You ain't got time to convince nobody else. You got to use all that energy on reminding yourself who you are daily. You got to work on your confidence daily. You got to develop daily. You got to work on your self-esteem daily. You got to work on your skills daily. So why are you wasting time trying to get other people to see the vision? Trust me, when you start utilizing your energy in a proper way, you finna build something so big that they can't help but see it. Okay, I want you to really start to look at this like when a woman is pregnant with a baby. Has anybody in here ever seen a pregnant woman walking around with a checklist going, hey, you know, I can get some cells. I need some cells. I need some bones. I need a brain. I need a skull. Where am I get a kidney from? She don't got to build the baby. She just got to give the baby an environment to grow in. Okay, you don't got to build a business. You just got to give the business an environment to grow in. Okay, you don't got to build the business. You just got to not abort the business. And you just let the business keep growing inside of you. One day you're going to go full time. You're going to go into labor, and ready or not, the business is coming out of you. If you just keep watering the business with thought, if you just keep watering the business with energy, one day your water going to break. And guess what? The business is coming, ready or not. This business want to be here so bad that it will rip you open. This business want to come out of you and play so bad, it's coming out. Does that make sense? You don't gotta build a business. You ain't gotta go hunt for the perfect load. You gotta stay excited. You gotta stay motivated. You gotta stay inspired. When they saying stuff on the news that's talking you out of your bed, you gotta turn that off. When your friend, why you want to do that? That's oversaturated. You gotta turn that off. You gotta stop. Like, it's like if you smoke and you drink and you find out you're pregnant, what you gonna do? You gonna stop smoking and drinking, right? When you get pregnant with a business, you got to stop smoking and drinking. In this case, the smoking and drinking is the negative dialogue. The people, that'll never work. You want someone to do your laundry? Focus on it. It's services out there that do laundry, and it might be cheaper than you think. It's services out there. You probably pay $40 a month, sit it on the front porch, they wash it, fold it, dry it, bring it back. That exists. You need it. So to need is to not have. To need is to not have. Go ahead and start making the to-do list for your cleaning lady. Go ahead and start getting things ready for your cleaning lady. Go ahead and start having a cleaning lady. Go ahead and pick out the day of the week. I want her to come Wednesday. I want her to come in the middle of the week. Yeah, I want her to come in the middle of the week. I keep a pretty clean. I just need her to come in once a week and do the stuff that I don't want. Go ahead and start preparing for your cleaning lady. And watch how you accidentally get pregnant with the idea of having a cleaning lady. I also have a number, but nervous. Have a number what? To a cleaning lady? Go ahead and mentally get you a cleaning lady. Start showing gratitude for that cleaning lady. And you gonna accidentally start finding extra money in your budget. You gonna accidentally saying, wait a minute, I ain't watching nothing on Hulu or Disney Plus in 6 months. Cancel that, they'll go $10. What's this subscription? Cancel that, they'll go another $30. 10% raise at work, okay. They'll go another $200 a month. Go ahead and get you a cleaning lady. You want to English? That's what you want. That's what you want. I'm so thankful for my English speaking cleaning lady. And this girl can clean. I can't believe she's so affordable. She's so valuable. Oh man, I don't know what we would do without her. And I'm telling you, you're gonna accidentally come up with the everything in the middle. I really started getting curious about creation because I had 2 kids in 2013. And I'm looking at my son, I'm looking at my daughter, I'm looking at my 2 beautiful babies. And I'm going, wait a minute. I made y'all on accident. These beautiful babies, these big pretty brown eyes, these big puff balls. I created this on accident. I can only imagine what would happen if I started creating on purpose. And then I looked deeper into it, and guess what? It wasn't hard, strenuous work when I was making my babies. I was having the time of my life when I made these babies. And that's my brain's like, hold on. I want to take this same type of energy into my business. I want to start doing things where I'm having the time of my life and accidentally making money. Yeah, I'm working up a sweat. I'm burning calories, but this is so fun. I can't believe I'm getting paid to do this. You gotta hold it in your head before you can hold it in your hands. I want you to start to look at the desire as the acorn and the full-blown manifestation as the oak tree. The acorn is the oak tree. You just gotta plant it in the proper environment. If you plant an acorn in the right environment, it's going to become an oak tree. If you plant a desire in a proper environment, it's going to become that. You got to plant the desire. If you set an acorn on your kitchen counter, I got an acorn on my desk that's been there for months. It's not going to become an oak tree sitting on my desk. But if I put that acorn in the right soil, it's going to become an oak tree. Somebody's comments got filtered. I don't know what you said, but TikTok didn't like it. So we're going to be live for a little bit longer. She's always on time and happy to see me, for sure. Yeah, we're going to open it up. So if anybody want to come up, y'all can come up for a bit. Have some Q&A. We could talk. We could discuss everything we've talked about today. And if anybody interested in working with me, let me know. We'll get you on the schedule. If you can think it, you can do it. If you can't think it, you're going to have a hard time doing it. You're not even going to have a hard time doing it. You can't do it. Can't think it, can't do it. Can't think it, can't do it. Can't hold it in your mind, can't hold it in your hands. For sure. You're going to get it, Prince. If you can think it, you can do it. So you got to do it in your head. And you just do it in your head, you'll start accidentally doing it with your body. Do people have free will, or can we control how they show up? To a degree. To a degree. So when you say control how they show up, what do you mean? You can control how they show up in your reality. You can't control how they show up in nobody else's reality, but you can definitely alter how they show up in your reality. Will you pray to God? Absolutely. Who else I'm going to pray to? I had accidentally let my window down. I heard a sound. I'm like, what's going on? Absolutely. Absolutely, you can alter how people show up in your reality. Yeah, you can totally change how people show up in your reality. And if they just not willing to play the way that you want them to play, law of attraction to take care of it. You see what I'm saying? Does that make sense? If they're not willing to play their role in the movie that you wrote, law of attraction will handle it. And then I quit. So yeah, you playing a part in that. You energetically keeping that alive. So you got something called a critical mind. And what your critical mind does is it protects your knowns. And your knowns are just the things that you know to be true. And your critical mind does three things. It generalizes, it distorts, and it deletes. So let's say it's a guy who has a known that all women are gold diggers. He knows for a fact that all women are gold diggers. So what his critical mind is going to do is it's going to generalize, distort, and delete. His homeboy say, well, what about Kim? Kim not a gold digger, man. Kim make more money than Kim don't count. Kim like a sister. That's a distortion. Kim not your sister. Y'all don't have the same parents. Yeah, so that's not true. But in order to keep this known going, now I'm gonna generalize. Well, an example of a deletion. What about old girl that you dated, man? She never actually. Oh man, I forgot all about her. That's a deletion. I'm not even gonna acknowledge that. That don't exist because that existing threatens this known. So what you got to do is you got to get that belief out there that belief that always happens. You got to get rid of that. You got to get rid of that belief, and it's gonna keep happening until you get rid of that belief. But once you get rid of that belief, you're gonna accidentally start attracting the right people. Before my spiritual awakening and after I was praying regularly, I struggled lately though. Why? I don't know. It could be all sorts of things. Are you hydrated? Do you got enough protein in your body? Are you getting enough sleep? Do you got clarity about what you want? How much caffeine are you having? It's a lot of moving pieces. A lot of moving pieces. I have to really dig into your business to figure out, exactly why. But when people are having a hard time focusing, I always like to start with diet and sleep and hydration. So what do you mean when you say law of attraction will remove them from your mood? Like energy attracts that unto itself. So if you are always, not sometimes, but always, I can't remember exactly what you said. That's the energy you exist in. If you get out of that, all right, so I give you a real world example. We're gonna take it way back. Back before I had a daughter, I've been doing hypnosis for a long time. And back before I had a daughter and the morals I had now, I would go to the bar and use what I know about the subconscious mind to cut up and get all the women. But it was certain women that I could just feel in their energy. I can just, as I approach them, you could just feel it. Like ain't no amount of hypnosis, ain't no amount of NLP, ain't no amount of manipulation for to get her to do anything. And the time that it would take to convince her to play the games that I wanted to play, I can go get 30 other people who already exist in that energy. Does that make sense? She already had a story that she was telling. And it would have took the rest of my life. I would accidentally fell in love with her trying to unprogram that story that she had. Because it would have took that amount of time. You got to start telling a different story. And as you start to tell a different story, those old people that used to play in your reality, it's not going to be fun to play in your reality no more. It's not going to be comfortable because you're not going to operate the way that they need you to operate so that they get the result. Every problem is a thinking problem. So instead of trying to change your behavior, a program was set. A program had so much momentum. She was set into what we call a hypnotic rhythm. And that hypnotic rhythm, me trying to change that hypnotic rhythm would be the equivalent of me trying to rearrange the seasons. Does that make sense? Me trying to change the hypnotic rhythm, like I don't want spring to come out. I don't want winter to come out spring. I don't want it to go winter, spring, summer, fall. I want to go spring, fall, summer. I can't change. It's so much momentum on that pattern. I can't change it. Me trying to get her out of that pattern would be the equivalent of me trying to get you to stop on red and stop on green and go on red. Imagine if you decide, hey, from now on, I'm gonna stop on green and I'm gonna go on red. Good luck. That pattern got so much momentum, me trying to get her out of that momentum. Have you ever heard somebody call your name and you don't want to turn around, but you know that your name is your name and you have a hard time not responding to your name because you've been responding to your name for literally your whole life? Damn, but dude, that means she was stronger? It's not stronger. It's just it's a pattern with momentum. Everybody has patterns with a lot of momentum. It's just a pattern. The good news is it's 8 billion people in the world. And if you just get crystal clear about what you want, there's always people who are willing to play in that same reality that you want. You just got to get clear about what you want. You calibrate it to it so that you accidentally start to draw those people into your awareness. If you get clear about what you want and start latching onto it, you'll accidentally start to attract the people who want to play on the frequency you want to play on. What's going on, Ashley? All right, somebody had requested to come up. You still down here? If you still in here, request to come up again. What's going on, Lady Loves? How you doing? Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. Hey, you're welcome, Next Level. What's up? What's up? What you got going on? And hey, guys, if you're not subscribed to the YT channel, get on there, man. Let me show y'all what y'all missing if you're not on there. Let me pull it up real quick. Let me pull it up real quick. So this is the YT channel. The name of the channel is I Coach Bosses. Just like on TikTok, I Coach Bosses. It's gonna take you to abundant living, hypnosis. Now, these are what I call the 5 C's: clarity, calibration, confidence, competence, and consistency. But if you get on here and you go to these videos, guys, look at this. 52 minutes long, 1 hour long, 45 minutes long, 1 hour and 8 minutes long, 33 minutes long, 1 hour and 18 minutes long, hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. All of these are hypnosis recordings. Overnight mind reset, New Year's resolution, deep sleep hypnosis, manifestation mode simple, deep sleep hypnosis for cleansing, effortless detachment, manifest your dreams overnight, manifest wealth and success tonight. Hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of content. Unlock your manifestation, break free tonight, overcome anxiety. Videos of me doing street hypnosis and sticking people to the ground. Hours and hours and hours of content. If you're not on the YT channel, you're missing out. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button and tap in with us, man. If you can think it, you can do it. If you can't think it, you're going to have a hard time doing it. Your only limit in life is your own imagination. All right, I'm finna get ready to jump off now. Anybody interested in working with me? If you want to work with me just to start getting clarity, you can go on to that link in my bio. You can book that session. It's $111. We're going to iron out clarity on that call. If you want to go deeper than like clarity and you want to get actual like hands-on coaching, go to the actual website or inbox me. I'm finna jump off. I love y'all like nothing y'all can do about it. Thank y'all for kicking it with me. I will see y'all next time.